Hi there, a very warm welcome on a very warm week to The Sweet Spot. It's the Racing Post's weekly golf show with Bruce Millington and Steve Palmer. And it is Majors Week. We will be looking at the US Open very shortly. But before we do that, so much to catch up on. I've got to say, last week was one of the most momentous, magical, but also weird weeks in golf I can remember for absolutely ages. 3 tournaments, 2 absolutely superb, 1 fairly sort of pathetic, I thought. But you know, potentially the start of something pretty seismic. So where to start? I think we'll start with the Scandinavian Mixed, Steve, because what we saw there was something absolutely extraordinary. As you remember, that's the DP World Tour event, and it's a mixed event, 77 male and 77 females. And Lynn Grant, who I was sure was an EastEnders character, I thought she took over the laundrette after Pauline Fowler finished. But no, she's a Swedish golfer. And if you didn't know about her before, you do now, because she won by 9 shots. Absolutely incredible. I think she was around about 25-1, so she wasn't unfancied. But Steve, it was extraordinary, wasn't it? What a performance.
Yeah, you had to take your hat off to Lynn Grant. It was a 2-shot lead going into the final round, loads of pressure. Like everyone wanted her to win. The Swede on home turf there to turn a 2-shot lead into a 9-shot victory and be so far ahead of the next female player. She was the only female in the top 14. So I don't regret my decision to focus on the men, but Lynn Grant was the exception to the rule. Astounding.
I mean, where does she stand in the sort of, is she a top 10 female golfer or at the moment, or is she not really in that league?
No. The elite LPGA players didn't enter that tournament. She was quite lowly ranked going into it, but she's only 22 and is clearly going to improve and be a prolific winner of low grade events this year. So Lynn Grant is a potential LPGA superstar.
Yes. Okay. So that was a sort of one-off bit of golf history and fairly amazing. But then you had the Canadian Open. So PGA Tour obviously trying to puff its chest out and show those Liv Championship boys what it's all about still. And I thought it delivered in spades. I thought that final round was absolutely superb. Rory and Justin Thomas and Finau, going at it hammer and tongs. It was fantastic stuff. McIlroy won in the end. He looked like he did wobble very badly. His 2-shot lead his lead got eroded. It was all square on the 17th tee. And then Justin Thomas imploded. It was all happening, wasn't it, Steve? I honestly thought it was one of the most compelling rounds of golf in many a year. And if you say to me, in 3 years' time, God willing, we're still here. Oh, you remember the Canadian Open in 22? I'll actually go, yes, I do. I will actually be able to remember it. That's how good it was.
I'll make a note of that and test you in 3 years' time, God willing. But I don't think you will remember. But I think Jay Monahan must have been thrilled. The PGA Tour, it couldn't have worked out better for them. There was a bit of overnight rain before the final round, so it softened the course up nicely. And I think Monahan probably said to the greenkeepers, set it up for birdies, make it as easy as possible. And that's what happened. You had 3 of the most popular players in the game in a birdie fest. And it was gripping stuff, wasn't it? I mean, Dustin Johnson must have been watching that tournament with a little bit of regret. He's been struggling to make pars in gloomy Hertfordshire. It was one of the most boring tournaments I've ever seen. I watched more of it than I should have done, really. The contrast couldn't have been more stark, could it? I mean, they're cheering Roy to the rafters.
Brilliant atmosphere, fantastic atmosphere,
incredible support, and the PGA Tour must have been delighted with that.
And it's actually the Canadian crowd showed some of those Yank galleries. So you can be loud, you can be noisy, you can get into it. You don't have to be a tit. You don't have to go on get in the whole mashed potato, all that nonsense. It was just brilliant, fervent support, and I love the little rub down that Rory gave him at the end. He said 21 tour wins, that's one more than... I think he was having a pop at Greg Norman there, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, he did that again in the media conference. Yeah. There's obviously a lot of animosity between the Liv bosses and the PGA Tour stars. Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy got this alliance. There they were together on Sunday. And it's going to be a strange atmosphere in the locker room this week, that's for sure.
And the fine young man with an incredible 60 as well. I thought his comment was quite interesting. Someone said, are you going to get involved in the Liv? He says, don't need the hassle. And I think he's right, probably, isn't
he? Yeah, well, I saw him putting on the green at Wentworth, didn't I?
Yeah.
I shared a putting green.
Did you give him a few tips? Is that
why I clearly inspired him. Yeah, my stroke is technically better than his, and he's obviously fed off that.
Okay, and then across to the Liv. So as everyone is bound to know, this is the Saudi-backed Liv Tour. where they've been signing great and very moderate players for eye-watering sums. And the first version of their tour came to life. Well, I say came to life, sort of spluttered to life at the Centurion Club in St Albans last week, a 54-hole event. It was all pretty drab. They got the low-profile winner they deserved in Charles Schwartzel. It was all just sort of rubbish, really, wasn't it, Steve? I suppose the point is it was never going to be perfect first time. And obviously since that, more players have started to trickle across. The question simply is going to be how many players can resist the money, and will there be a tipping point where more and more stars join and the rest start thinking, well, actually, this is where it's at. If you can't beat them, join them. Well, how do you think this is going to play out?
I don't think there will be a tipping point. I think the ones that are going at the moment are the bad guys. Bryson DeChambeau's got injury problems. He's not particularly popular on the PGA Tour. He used to get heckled a lot on the PGA Tour, didn't he? So he obviously fancies it. Patrick Reed, again, one of the most unpopular players on the circuit. Been branded all sorts of nasty names, isn't he, for rules indiscretion. So he's another one that can happily burn his bridges with no regrets. But I sense that the decisions have been made now. Justin Thomas isn't going, Rory McIlroy's not going. They speak to the other members of the elite that are staying. So I don't think it's going to be a domino effect. I think we're there now. I think we know who's going, and I wouldn't panic. If I was Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour chiefs, I think they're going to be fine. Did you see any? I mean, was there anything that you saw? I must admit, I literally didn't see a single shot played. Was there anything you saw that you thought, well, that's good, that's different? I mean, the team event just looked weird. I mean, who on earth's going to engage with that? It just, like I say, it's got a long, long way to go before it's going to start getting me interested. The team events are nonsense. Nobody seems to know what the rules of the team event are. They're just throwing an extra $5 million at it for no reason. There's no betting on that. It's boring as anything. The only one thing I like about it is the shotgun start, which eliminates the draw bias. I'm already getting my knickers in a twist about a potential draw bias in this US Open. That for punters, the elimination of draw bias is the one good thing. And if you backed Charles Schwartzel last week, you would have enjoyed yourself. He was 33-1. He's a former Masters champion. I think it's the perfect circuit for someone like him because he fell out of love with the game. I don't think Charles Schwartzel particularly likes golf. He had a very frustrating spell with the putter, and he became one of the angriest players on the circuit. I think this is perfect for him. You can play 2 or 3 years on the Liv Golf Tour and have enough for your retirement. I think the South Africans seem to particularly relish that. Louis Oosthuizen, he's going to play a few more years and retire and go back and hang out on the farm. So I mean, if that's what you want out of life, a little bit of money and spend the rest of your life counting your money on the farm, then the Liv Golf is for you. Rory McIlroy has said he knows what makes him tick, and that's performing in front of massive crowds like at the Canadian Open in historic events.
That's the thing,
and creating legacy. So different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, that must be awkward, mustn't it? If you're a pro golfer and you hate golf, imagine that. I mean, all of us, we sit in the office and dream of being out playing golf. I wonder if he's ever out playing golf and wishes he was like filling in a spreadsheet or watching a GDPR video or something, or having a meeting on Zoom.
I doubt it, but I think he likes getting out on his plane. Then he's smart. So he's a registered pilot. Yeah, I think Oosthuizen likes playing with tractors. Schwartzel likes playing with planes. I don't think either of them particularly like golf. So welcome to the Liv Tour.
Oh well, right. Is there anything else from last week that you want to pick up on?
I don't think so. No, I mean, we've obviously got a big McIlroy gamble now, which I think is people getting carried away. So I want to urge a bit of caution there. But we'll come on to the third major of the season.
Well, let's come right onto it, shall we? It is the US
Open. Matron.
And it takes place at the Country Club, Brookline, Massachusetts, near Boston. And I will tell you Boyle Sports' latest prices, and then Steve will tell you all about the course, the type of players we should be backing, that draw bias, and we'll get his selections. First up, though, Boyle Sports. Now, they're offering 6 places, 8 places, 11 places, or 12 places. So, obviously, varying odds depending on how many places you go for. I'm going to read out the 11 places to give you a flavour of the market. Obviously, feel free to shop around with other bookmakers for their prices and place terms. Here we go, though. 8-1, Rory McIlroy. 12, John Rahm. 11, Justin Thomas. 12, Scotty Scheffler. 16 Cam Smith, 18 Xander Schauffele, 18 Patrick Cantlay, 20 Shane Lowry and Sam Burns and Jordan Spieth, 22 Zalatoris, 22 Fitzpatrick, 22 Morikawa, 25 Finau, 28 Hovland, 28 Neiman, 28 Sun Jae Im. And Steve, just a quick word. Obviously, the Liv Rebels are playing in this. Why?
Yeah, because the majors are not run by the PGA Tour. No, none of the majors are run by the PGA Tour. So, they're free to play in them, but they're banned from the PGA Tour.
Isn't the USPGA run by the PGA?
No, it's not.
How queer?
No. So there's no impact at the moment.
Okay, so they can all play they can all play our Open next month, can they?
Yeah, they can all play our Open, and a lot of them are trying to get onto our DP World Tour, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Dustin Johnson apparently has requested membership of that tour.
That'd be a bit cheeky of the DP World Tour, wouldn't it, to let them play in that as well?
Extremely cheeky. I mean, Keith Pelly's got some big decisions to make because the DP World Tour is obviously dying on its arse in terms of field strength, and now he's got this opportunity to let all these the likes of your Dustin Johnsons come onto it. But there's this strategic alliance with the PGA Tour. It's perhaps a little bit underhand to do that to the PGA Tour. So there's a lot of thinking that Keith Pelly's got to do.
Okay, that's enough of golf politics. Let's talk about golf punting.
Damn right.
First up then, Steve, I've said where we are, the Country Club Brookline. What sort of track is it?
7,264 yard par 70, only 2 par 5s. Last hosted the US Open in 1988. Last hosted the US Amateur Championship in 2013. Our Matt Fitzpatrick won that. So he's the only course winner in the field. He's really excited about going back there, actually, is our Matt. He's a regular visitor, so he's probably got more course knowledge than anyone else. But it's most famous, as you alluded to last week, for hosting the 1999 Ryder Cup, the infamous Battle of Brookline, featuring Justin Leonard's long putt at the 17th hole and the subsequent carnage. It's a parkland course with linksy feel to it. It's only 7 miles from the Atlantic Ocean, so it's usually quite windswept. There's lots of fescue rough there as well. So, I think the key attribute is accurate approach play. You've got lots of forced carries. You've got lots of greens with rough all the way around it. You've got bunkers right in front of a lot of these greens. So, you've got to be on point with your irons and wedges.
Okie dokie. And we talked about draw bias. Tell us more.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. It's going to be 2 majors in a row where we've had draw bias. Thursday morning clearly looks like the best scoring conditions of the first 2 days, and then Friday windy all day. So early late is what you're after. Fortunately, the tee times out are 24 hours earlier than they were for the USPGA. I mean, the USPGA, it was really difficult for us all. I've increased stakes on the players that I've selected in the right side of the draw.
Can we just quickly run through the sort of the big guns who are in the morning on Thursday and who's in the afternoon Thursday? Would you like me to do that? I've sprung that on you a bit there, haven't I?
Yeah, you can do it if you've got them in front of you.
Let me have a look. Oh no, in a sec.
I think I know them.
Okay, well, roughly speaking,
well, Rory McIlroy's got a morning start, so he's in the best half. Justin Thomas is in the worst half.
Rahm is best, isn't he?
Rahm is best. Yeah, Rahm is best. Morikawa's best.
I've got them all here. Right, I'm just going to read out the sort of marquee 3 balls who've got morning starts. Morikawa, Rahm, Spieth, Homer, Billy Horschel, Cantlay, Berger, McIlroy, Matsuyama, Schauffele, Neiman, Young, Zalatoris. They're the sort of best of the morning players. And then the late starters out of the big guns, you've got Sun Jae Im, Pereira, Van Rooyen, Hatton, Burns, Answer, Peters, Justin Thomas, Hovland, Finau, Koepka, Smith, Scheffler, Fitzpatrick, DJ, Webb Simpson. They're in the afternoon. Now, we're not absolutely saying they can't win here, okay? And we're also saying that we're looking at weather apps 48 hours before it starts. There is the risk of thunder, which, of course, could turn it on its head, because if you were to get a storm and a delay, the ones that we think are getting a good start in the morning would actually be shunted through to the afternoon. So it's a little bit complicated. I guess, Steve, the best advice is it feels like the morning Thursday starters are going to have an advantage. but it's not guaranteed. So that's kind of the way to play it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And lest we forget Sawgrass, where it flipped just before the tournament, didn't you? Remember Sawgrass? We were getting our knickers in a serious twist for Sawgrass, and it flipped the other way. And lest we forget the USPGA, where Justin Thomas overcame the worst side of the draw and won the Wanamaker Trophy. So I think we need to have a look at our knickers and put them in a slightly more conventional position.
Iron them
if that's possible. Yeah. You don't do that while it's still on.
No,
that's quite dangerous, isn't it?
Okay,
right.
Knickers are ironed. How many selections?
We have 6 selections, but 2 of them are absolutely enormous prices.
That's right. We don't have to justify. I like 6. The joy of 6.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, right. Well, fire away with your headline tip.
Turning into quite a saucy podcast, this, with for various reasons. Right. The number 1 selection is Xander Schauffele, 18-1 with Boyle Sports, getting 11 places, 22-1 available elsewhere, getting fewer each way places. The best value each way bet in the field for me. He's never failed to place in the US Open. His form figures from the 5 US Open starts, he's had a 5, 6, 3, 5, 7. Ludicrously consistent results in the toughest major of the year, and that's the challenge he loves. Schauffele says it himself. The tougher the conditions get, the tougher the course is, the more chance of success he has. He knows that's his game. He's the ultimate grinder, no obvious weakness, great all-rounder. He's positive in all the main stat categories again this season. He's 12th in strokes gained on approach, which is the key attribute this week for me. He played well in the 2013 US Amateur at Brookline. It's not just Fitzpatrick that we need to look at. Lots of runners in this field who did well there. Schauffele was one of them. He's the Olympic champion. It's easy to forget that. That was a tournament that a lot of elite players wanted to win. He's got the gold medal. And I like his build up to this US Open. I think winning that Zurich Classic Pairs event with Patrick Cantlay in April was important. I know he had a great partner alongside him there, but it did count as a PGA Tour win for Schauffele. It effectively ended that drought he was on. And in the AT&T Byron Nelson, that was the moment where I thought, right, Schauffele's the man for the US Open. In that Byron Nelson, he was staring at a missed cut. Then he went 8 under par for his final 13 holes of round 2. Then went 65-61 over the weekend to finish 5th. That was the evidence that his A game was back. He found his top gear. Then he finished 13th in USPGA, 18th at Memorial. Week off to freshen up. Good set of tee times. Xander Schauffele's your man.
Definitely got the bottle.
I think so. Yeah. I think he's won enough tournaments, enough big tournaments, Tour Championship. I think he's got the bottle. Obviously all year I've been building towards a Schauffele US Open bet, and I wanted him to win an individual event, but I think that Zurich Classic Pairs event was enough. He's had PGA Tour silverware in his hands, and he's a gritty character. He seems less bothered by that victory drought than we were actually.
Okay. Right. Xander Schauffele is Steve's main hope. Who do you think the main danger is?
I think it's everyone's favourite Irishman, Shane Lowry. 20-1 with Boyle Sports, getting 11 places. 30-1 available elsewhere, getting fewer places. Just become relentlessly consistent, clearly in the form of his life, so in control of every department of his game. He's 9th in that key stat, strokes gained on approach this season, the PGA Tour. He's hardly put a foot wrong. 11 stroke play starts this year, nothing worse than 32nd place. Runner-up in the Honda Classic, 13th at Sawgrass, 3rd in the Masters, 3rd in the Heritage, 10th last week in the Canadian Open with an ice-cold putter. No reason to panic, 24th in the putting stats. And I think he'll fall in love with Brookline. He's seen it for the first time, but the windy weather forecast, we talked about the first 2 days, the whole week, there's wind all 4 days, small greens, lots of scrambling needed. This is a perfect Lowry setup. He's fantastic in the wind. He's probably one of the best scramblers in the field. He's a proven major champion. I don't think we give Lowry enough credit for what he's due. He's the 2019 Open champion. He's the 2016 US Open runner-up. Playing too well to be ignored. He's on the wrong side of the draw, but he loves the wind. He's not going to be worried about that.
Big Irish community in Boston as well, and in that area.
Yes.
Lots of support, won't he?
He will. Yeah, it could be an emotional
There'll be people with pints of Guinness hats, weren't there, everywhere? Do you remember that when we went to the Ryder Cup and there were those 4 lads in front of us with pints of Guinness hats, and we were on that hillock, weren't we? And
not easy to see. Was it?
Really annoying, yeah. But they seem such genial chaps. We didn't really want to have to ask them to remove their head.
No. I'll get one of them for Sunday if he's in contention. Yeah, come on.
Oh, will you? Oh, yeah, of course. We should talk about Sunday, of course. We're back for a Sweet Spot Live watch along for the final round. And it's only a 5-hour time difference, Steve, so hopefully it won't be too late. But I'm not quite sure when we're on air. We will tweet out the details, or you can see it on YouTube. But we would love you to join us for Sweet Spot Live on Sunday, Steve, myself, and guests. And if Lowry's in contention, where will you procure your pint of Guinness hat?
Paul Keeley will have to send me one. He's a very proud Irishman, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd probably drink it. Okay, right then. Schauffele, Lowry, next.
Wackham Neiman, 28-1 with Boyle Sports, getting 11 places, 33-1 available elsewhere, getting fewer places. I think he's ready to win majors. I like the way he's been handling himself in elite company this year. He won that Genesis Invitational from the front in February. That field was oozing quality. He was drawn with Tiger Woods in the first round of the Masters. You know, the ultimate test for anyone, really. That was the Tiger Woods comeback. You know, the millions of people following that group. And he carded a 69. I thought, blimey, this fella's come of age now. He's been really solid since then. 23rd in the USPGA, 3rd in the Memorial last time out. He's only 23. You know, he's a prodigy. He was a prodigy. He was the world #1 amateur for 44 weeks. He was always destined for greatness. And I think it's about to happen. He's made the cut in his last 7 majors. I think he'll like Brookline. He's on the right side of the draw.
Yeah, just about sneaks in. I think he's in the last of the morning groups on Saturday with
nice,
on Thursday.
Nice slot, and likes. Yeah, it's good in the wind. Low ball flight, fantastic.
Okay, next up.
Tommy Fleetwood, 40-1 with Boyle Sports, getting 11 places, 60-1 available elsewhere. Clearly getting his act together again. It's been a quiet spell for Tommy, but that long game class, which he's built his career on, is coming back. His short game has actually never been in better nick. I can see him putting it all together at Brookline. He's shown he can handle the US Open assignment. He was 4th in 2017. He was runner-up in 2018. He was runner-up in the 2019 Open Championship. He scored 4 points on his Ryder Cup debut. So we're talking about an elite player here. And he's made obvious progress this year. That 14th place in the Masters might not have caught your eye, but that's his best ever finish at Augusta. And he outscored everyone over the weekend of the USPGA, 69-67 to finish 5th. Brookline looks a great fit. So, yeah, I think Tommy Fleetwood could have a big week. Got to overcome the wrong side of the draw.
And you promised us 2 big price contenders. Who are they?
I sure have. You got you some big price contenders. I think my outright preview will go online just before the podcast comes out, so listeners might have to take shorter prices, but you ain't going to need much on to make this one pay. 2 relatively unknown Americans who I think can make a big impact. And the first one is Taylor Montgomery.
Literally never heard of him.
Taylor Montgomery. Well, I mean, you've heard of Colin Montgomery. Yeah, a lot of European golf fans.
Gooch, but
yeah, I mean, we used to spend years cheering on Colin Montgomery in majors unsuccessfully. Maybe, you know, the first Monty to win a major will be Taylor Montgomery. He's 400-1 with Boyle Sports getting 11 places. I think anything bigger than 200-1 is worth having on Taylor Montgomery.
Who the dickens is he?
He's been really, really impressive on the Corn Ferry Tour. He won't be on that circuit for much longer. You can watch him next season on the PGA Tour. He's guaranteed his promotion. Last time out, he finished 8th on the Corn Ferry Tour, and that secured his PGA Tour card. His form figures from his last 5 Corn Ferry Tour events are 4, 13, 4, 2, 8. He's a 4-time runner-up on that circuit. He made his major debut in last year's US Open and finished 57th. No disrespect. He qualified.
I know you get lots of extra places, but
now come on. He qualified.
Okay, sorry, I'm breaking your momentum here.
He's qualified at a US Open venue, the Olympic Club. So he's come through a qualifier, but at a US Open venue, the Olympic Club, and in a rare PGA Tour start in January. This will definitely impress you. This was at a US Open venue as well, Torrey Pines. He's turned up at Torrey Pines for his 3rd ever PGA Tour start. Got no right to do well there. Finishes 11th. Impressed?
Not really. This is US Open. How's he going to step up from that to this?
That's a US Open course with a top class field. He's just bowled in there in his 3rd PGA Tour start and finished 11th. He's a 27-year-old powerhouse. Yeah, I think Taylor Montgomery's going places.
Wow. Where's he from?
He lives in Las Vegas. Yeah, he lives in Las Vegas. So roll the dice with
Taylor Montgomery. That would be mad. Someone I've literally never heard of on the Tuesday winning the US Open on the Sunday. But stranger things have happened, haven't they?
Yeah, certainly at sea.
Right. What else have we got? Who else?
We've got an even bigger price. We've got an even bigger price here. 750-1 with Boyle Sports getting 11 places. 1,000-1 available elsewhere. Brandon Matthews, who, like Montgomery, is riding the crest of a wave. He just secured promotion to the PGA Tour on Sunday. Final hole birdie to seal the deal. He finished 15th in the latest Corn Ferry Tour event. He got his first Corn Ferry Tour win in February. He's won 3 times on the South American Tour, and now he's qualified for a major debut. So Yeah, Matthews' career has been progressing nicely. He's 27 years of age and he's got course experience. I can see he's got course experience. He was a quarter finalist in that 2013 US Amateur at Brookline. And his secret weapon, this is why he's worth taking a chance on at such big prices. He's got enormous firepower. He hits it as far as Cameron Champ. Brandon Matthews is one of the longest hitters in this field. He's going to gamble on those 3 short par 4s. There's 3 drivable par 4s for Brandon.
Is there?
Matthews.
Wow.
Yeah. You got the 5th hole, the 7th hole, and the 17th. They're all in range for him. He might as well have a go. He's got nothing to lose. He made 2 eagles on Sunday in the Corn Ferry Tour event. He's just got prodigious length. And I think he's worth a go at those prices. He's certainly worth a go in the first round leader market as well. Can I add a first round?
Of course you can. Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Because he's got that perfect slot. I think that those teeing off from the 10th on Thursday morning, that's the best slot because the first 4 holes are really hard. So if you're starting on the first, you've got 4 really difficult holes straight out the gate. I think I think Matthews got a great slot, and he's 300 to 1 for first round leader.
Goodness me, that's amazing. So those are the 6 tips, Steve. Quick word on some of the market leaders. Any you particularly liked? Any you particularly didn't fancy?
Justin Thomas, I was closest to having. His iron play is going to be a massive asset round here. So I just wonder whether that bogey finish has taken some of the confidence. So a huge respect for Justin Thomas this week for back-to-back majors.
A tournament you're very much looking forward to, no doubt. It should be great, shouldn't it?
Yeah. And if you want some tops, Michael Thorbjornsson, another new name for you. I think Michael Thorbjornsson for top amateur is a big runner. I've seen some 14 to 1 around for top amateur. He's a local lad. He's been up to 15th in the World Amateur rankings. I think he won the Massachusetts Amateur Championship last year. So that's an interesting top amateur option. And then the other one I think you might like, just quickly. I'm sorry, I know you got to go to Ascot, but
I've got to get ready for Royal Ascot. Go on,
Jim. You'll like this one.
It's a better be good.
Jim Furyk for top senior at 3 to 1. I think is a great bet. It's a 3-runner heat with Phil Mickelson as an odds-on favourite. How can Mickelson concentrate this week? Yeah, he's public enemy number 1.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. Brilliant stuff. Let's reiterate your 6 selections for the 2022 US Open.
Xander Schauffele, Shane Lowry, Wacom Neiman, Tommy Fleetwood, Taylor Montgomery and Brandon Matthews.
And the tournament starts just before midday, I suppose, Thursday, UK and Ireland time. So get your bets on before it starts. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Steve. We are back next Tuesday to review the US Open and also look ahead to the Travelers Championship, which is the US event. And on the European Tour, we've got the BMW International. In the meantime, though, as we said earlier, we would love you to join us on Sunday evening for a Sweet Spot Live watch-along. Steve and myself with a more, hopefully, relaxed, betting-focused, fun commentary than you get elsewhere. We'd love you to join us for that. Love to see you next week. Good luck with your bets. Bet responsibly. And we will see you on Sunday for Sweet Spot Live.